How does the UFC keep on getting away with this? How do they keep on blatantly robbing us in our face with these horrible cards? What is this? I did an early breakdown of UFC 312 when it was just a few fights. But as I saw the other day, the full card, I'm like, this card is a disgrace of a pay-per-view, of $80, of an event. It's only 2 fights that people really care about. How? Let's do a quick look through this. Okay, obviously, Dracus and Strickland. I'll be honest. In the beginning, for the first fight, I didn't really care too much about it, but it was actually a really good fight, back and forth, razor close. Dracus pulled the decision. So this in the rematch is actually interesting, just because of the first one. And Tatiana Suarez hasn't been fighting a lot, but this is supposed to be like the hardcore MMA fans know that she's such a good grappler, and obviously Zhang is a good champ that people like. So this should be a decent WMMA fight as well. I know people don't really like WMMA, but this is still a decent fight. But let's look at the rest of the card. Like, what is the UFC doing to put this as a UFC pay-per-view? Like, if there wasn't so much other fire fights that they could have threw on this card just for the fans. Like, this is crazy. I look at the names and I'm like, hold on, I'm not even bugging. I'm trying to be mindful and like, okay, let's be real. Justin Tafa and Talasan Teixeira for the pay-per-view. Jimmy Crute, Rodolfo Bellato. Like, come on. Let's be real. These would be the bottom of a prelim of a fight night, and we would have been bat an eye at it. And the fact that they just threw it on the main event of UFC 312, it's insane to me. I understand you have your Australians in that area of the world, Tafa, Crute, Jake Matthews, but all their hype is gone. We've already seen them win and lose multiple times. It's not the same, especially when you have so many big names from that side of the world, that region of the world where you could throw on. We would have loved to see Steve Erceg, Kai France, Hooker. Who else? You could have threw Allberg. Obviously, you put those people. Like, for example, why wasn't Gaethje and Justin on this? That would have been a perfect 3-fight header. Dracus Strickland, Zhang Weili, Justin Gaethje, Dan Hooker. That would have been at least a fire 3 card. People would have been like, yo, this card is good. The main event is actually good. But I feel like that was such a blatant, obvious miss from the UFC. Because I look, and let's be real, guys. Come on. This is like a fight night. Like, bro, Jack Jenkins is cool. People like Jack Jenkins. He does bring the heat. But it's like Jack Jenkins for the prelim header? Come on. Look at these fights. Okay, look. Cody Hadon versus the Alexandre Toria. That's Toria's brother. For me, this will be a fight that people will like. But look, they don't have a picture of him. 0-0. It's going to be his complete debut in the UFC. He hasn't even had an MMA fight before. That should be interesting. See, look. This guy right here, Borshev. I'll be forgetting how to pronounce his name. He be scrapping as well. And Tom Nolan. This would be a good little prelim fight. There's a few good prelim fights on the Wong Kong. She lost. She had a lot of hype, and then she lost to some Brazilian head kick, crack, submit, crazy combination. I think one of the last pay-per-views or the last cards of the year last year. But I think she's still really nice. She was winning that fight, but then she was just being too overly confident, and she got clipped. But I think she's still really nice, and she has a win over Shevchenko. So this should be a good little women's fight. She probably puts the beats on Bruno Brazil, to be honest. But it's like, come on. That's it? That's the card? No way. This is the entire card? Oh no, this card is terrible. I thought it was more than that. Or not even just more than that. I thought it was like at least a few more fights. I'm like, oh, we got this and this. No, wait. Jonathan and Kevin. Kevin is the guy that got knocked out by, that got finished by, what's his name? Randy? Not Randy. Y'all know who I'm talking about. What? Quillin Skedaddle versus Ancho Jubilee from India. Wow, this card is disgusting. And we're supposed to pay $80 for this? Wow, this is incredible to me that the UFC would even really try to make us pay $80 for this card and to smack this on a UFC pay-per-view of the year. Why would you do this? And when I just realized, if I'm not mistaken, the last DDP and Strickland card was also atrocious. So it's something about this matchup that the UFC is like, yo, it's a middleweight fight. I guess they want to have it as because they could have put this at the co-main and put another bigger fight, but this doesn't make sense to me. Really look at this card, guys. Let's all be real right now. Let's completely unbiased. Let's be real. Go fight by fight real quick. Drake and Strickland, that's good. Zhang and Tatiana, that's good. Justin Tafa and Alexandre and Teixeira, do we care about this fight? I don't care about this fight, to be honest. Hopefully there's a finish for me, but, we've seen Justin Tafa get beat by cans already. Jimmy Crute and Rodolfo. Don't really care for it either. It's, like I said, this could be at the bottom of some prelims on a fight night. We would have been bat an eye. Jake Matthews and Francisco, this could be all right. It could be all right for me. I wouldn't doubt it. Jack Jenkins and Gabriel Santos, this could be fire for me because Jack Jenkins brings the heat for me. But the average MMA fan doesn't even know who Gabriel Santos is. So it's like Hyung Sung Park and Namo Jargo Tumo and Doba Bro. This should actually be fire for me. We got South Korea versus Mongolia. That's some lore in those ethnicities right there. This should be a fire fight with the styles and everything at flyweight. The flyweight fights be like anime battles. And this should be alright too. Cody Hadon versus Alexandre Toria. This should be another fight too because we want to see what Toria's little brother looks like in the UFC. So it's like Tom Nolan and Bushrov. This should be alright too. This could literally be a fight night, a regular fight night, Apex fight night in any state that people are like, oh, it's cool little cute fight night. Because this is insane. I really thought there was more. But the fact that this is all there is, Australia, speak up, guys. You cannot let the UFC do this to you guys. If anything, we got to stop going to Australia. Because if this is the cars that's being produced every time we go to Australia, this is insane. Like, it's honestly baffling. I don't know how y'all feel, honestly. Let me know in the comments how y'all feel because I know I'm not bugging. I'm looking at this card and I'm like, this is literally a fight night with DDP and Strickland as the main event. So I'm just like, who's going to want to pay $80 for this? For me? Like, what? Or who's going to want to pay thousands for a ticket to go to an event? And the fighters don't even want to fight in Australia because the taxes are so high, so it's inconvenient for everyone. We might have to stop going to Australia, guys, because this is honestly insane to me. Like, the only fights, let me try to pick 5 fights that will be like, this is fire. Drickless, Zhang, Jenkins, Hyung Sung Park, and you can say Toria or the Warshav. That's like 6 decent fights that could be alright, but it's like name value, people don't care, the hype is not there, the average fan doesn't care. This is like, UFC really needs to stop with this and put some big names in the card and take advantage. There's so many fire Australians that could have been in this card, Australians and Kiwis, but we're going to keep on speaking up because the UFC cannot let us do this. If you're new, like and subscribe, join the MMA game. We're all in this together. UFC is back. We're lit. We are locked in this year. All of us. MMA game. Tell me how you feel about this card. Tell me how you feel. I love ya.